All right.
Yeah, we're here. I was just doing a little technical structuring, but hey, what's going on? Good day, guys, man. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We get into this day here. We still in the prime of the day. There's a lot to do on this day. Enjoy this day. This is Nathaniel Evans, host of I'm a Data. And as you know, Jeannie Muhammad should introduce herself.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Nathaniel. I am Jeannie Muhammad, your global happiness expert. Happy to be here with you. And I strive to empower women, especially, but everyone I encounter, I strive to empower them to know that whatever problems we may having, whatever adversities we may having, we can heal from within. So that's me, Jeannie Muhammad, your global happiness expert.
That's that's right. Jeannie and I was actually talking about. It's a lot of background. It seems like. All right, I think it's better. So he's actually talking about defining our podcast, defining who we are. What is this life is about. And how do we actually channel the right message and the right energy towards everyone that we connect with. And I see Tammy was up there, which was
Oh
good.
yes, and it's always good
Yeah.
to have her with us. Oh, Dr. Tammy, it does my heart good whenever I even just see your name. Thank you. Thank you
Hmm.
for being with us.
Yeah. So
Oh, men
yeah,
that empower.
hold on. This might be something messing with the audio. Give me one
Are you having a
second.
little problem there? Well,
Yeah,
while
I'm
you
hearing like.
work on that, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just some type of background.
Okay. Lonnie Singleton is with us. Oh, great.
Okay,
Thank
I
you for
think.
being here with us. I just want to say to everyone that has joined us, please hit that like button, love button, that support button. We appreciate that because it really does help us to expand our reach. And so
It's
just
something.
hit that like or love button and let us know if Dr. Tammy, can you hear us okay? Just let us know if you can hear us okay, and so that we can keep going. Today, our subject
Okay,
is purpose.
I got it.
Okay, good. Our subject today is
Okay.
purpose. And it's a beautiful subject. I have given it a lot of thought. And if we can receive some input from our viewers and our listeners is always appreciated. Thank you, Dr. Tammy, that you can hear us okay. Thank you. And it's so purpose, Nathaniel. When you came up with this subject, what were you thinking about as far as our purpose? Yeah, there. Nathaniel is
There's some type
outside.
of background. I don't know what.
Okay, Nathaniel is outside. He
No,
decided
but it's
to.
not that. It's not. No. It's
It's
something
something
here
technical.
that I'm
Okay, well, I'm
trying
going to talk
to.
about while you're figuring that out, Nathaniel. I am going to
Okay.
discuss what the things that I came up with when I was thinking about purpose. You know, when we all come
Definitely.
into this world, when we all are born, I believe that we are given an assignment. I believe that we are
Mm.
um, born with a purpose. And it is up to us as individuals to find and discover what that purpose is. And sometimes it takes years. Sometimes, in my case, it did take years. I did not understand that all of the adversities that I was going through was preparing me for my purpose. And you may say, Jeannie Muhammad, what is your purpose? I believe my purpose is divine. I believe that I am a vessel for my creator. I believe that what I do should be an expression of what the creator wants for all mankind, for humanity, and that is love. I believe my purpose is to be a demonstration of that love for humanity, starting with love for myself. So that's me in a nutshell. I'll discuss more as we
Yeah,
go along.
yeah,
You, Nathaniel.
definitely, I definitely agree with that. You know, to define your purpose is not actually to look outside into the world to connect to a purpose. I think that's one of the greatest downfalls that I see for mankind, womankind, is stepping outside of yourself to find a purpose, to find this grandiose purpose, to find utopias that's in the world. Because the world shifts so much that you can't keep up with it. You know, as soon as you think that you got it all figured out, something else comes and knock you for a loop. You know, let's say that you buy this house and all of a sudden you say, you know, I got this house and my life is grand. Sorry. I don't got to worry about nothing no more. And the next thing you know, the house burns down, or you get into illegal allegations and stuff like that, and you know you got to fight for the house. Now it becomes a burden more than it becomes a blessing. So to actually look outside of yourself to find your purpose is actually limiting who you really are. Like what is, you know, your true purpose is actually who you are as an individual, and actually how you connect with the world on the outside according to your inner compass. I believe our inner compass actually leads us in directions that we cannot foresee, right? They say open up the third eye, right? How do you get to the third eye? You got to get the third eye through from your inner compass. So even if you're dealing with the third eye doesn't lead you, it doesn't actually develop from outward, it actually develops from inward. So you can't really use your third eye for the world because it has nothing to do with the world. You know, when you look at the world as a whole, the world doesn't want you to tap into the third eye, right?
Oh, yes.
If it wanted you to tap into the third eye, then we would actually have a lot of our leaders still in place that was actually trying to make changes in our communities, trying to make changes within society or humanity as a whole. What about the advocates that actually fought against creating an atomic bomb, right? If the people would have listened, a lot of lives would have been saved, but they chose to create the atomic bomb anyway. And a lot of those leaders got crushed underfoot. They actually had the insight would say, why would humanity create something that would actually destroy humanity? Right? It doesn't make any sense. So this is the third eye speaking. This is not your textbook speaking. You're not gonna learn this in college, right? You're not gonna learn this at universities. You're only gonna learn this from within your own being about what is essential in this world and what is not.
And Nathaniel, and I talk a lot about doing a self-examination. And you're so right about that third eye because that's not you. We go on a journey of self-discovery. We go on a journey of learning, and sometimes people depend too much on formal education and not enough on self-education. And see, I believe that in learning our purpose, we have to do really a deep dive into who are we, you know. And one thing that I in mind on my journey that I've learned is I cannot please everybody, you know. At one
Yeah.
time in learning my purpose, I I uh, I thought I could please everybody. You know, I wanted to please everybody. I wanted everybody to be happy with me. But that's not the way it is when you truly walk in your purpose. Not everybody's going to understand.
Yeah,
Not
I mean, you
everybody
know,
is.
we yeah, that's true because we immortalize Christ, right? They call him Jesus Christ, we call him Christ. Some people call him Messiah. You know, we immortalize him. But when we go into the Bible, Christ says something that a lot of people choose not to understand. He said a prophet is not honored in his own household,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He said, my brothers, mother, father, seeing the miracles that I do, and still say that I am not the Christ. Still say that I'm not the being that they see me to be, because a prophet is not honored in his own household. So as you're growing, and it's not saying you moving on a spiritual path, or it's not even saying that you're moving on, you know, a religious path. It's actually saying that you're moving on your own path. And a lot of times your own path, it could be selling ices, you know, it could be selling t-shirts, it can actually be trying to find a cure, you know, for diseases in the world. That path does not coincide with the people a lot of times that's in your inner circle. That's why a lot of people that become rich and wealthy become so from outside of their inner circles.
And that's
You know what I'm
why
saying?
we
So you can't
lose.
put your
Yes.
emphasis.
Yes. And that's why we lose a lot of people on our journey, Nathaniel. That's why coming into
Yeah,
our purpose and finding who we are and truly living that purpose, sometimes we lose people. You know, we lose people that are truly near and dear to us, people that we love, people that we don't want to part company with, but sometimes it's necessary. What is your purpose?
that's correct.
Why are you here? Even and this is looking at our show, Nathaniel. To me, I believe that we are here, we're now, right at this moment, for a reason. It's not that it
Yeah, I
just
believe we're here because we're here.
happened. Yes, there is a reason.
That's it.
There's
Yeah,
a reason.
yeah,
And I know we're not speaking to everyone. Someone may hear this and they say, well, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to talk about purpose. I don't want that. That's fine. If someone hears a message that I have and it does not resonate with them, it's okay because that message was not meant for them.
yeah. Guess what? He that has an ear to hear, let him hear. Right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
basically, you know, basically being detached. That's what I am a data is. I'm the data. Like what's here is here and what's not is not. Right? You can't change a reality of other people by altering your reality, because you'll find out when you alter your reality, those people will not even come to the alteration, right? They won't even accept you then, right?
Oh,
So
yes.
you got to be
Speak on
careful.
that.
See, you got to be careful of not trying to change who you are to accommodate other people, right? Because once you make that change, they're gonna be like, that person is not real because that person changed from their pop. I can't trust that person. They're gonna say a lot of different things It's going to get you irate. You're going to be like, but I changed for that person, right? And then they're going to be like, well, you know.
Wait, you know what?
Yeah.
In the Holy Quran, and this is something that I want to say about our show. It's not, Nathaniel and I both, we will quote the Bible and we quote the Holy Quran. We will quote
That's correct.
any holy scripture, but it's not about religion. It's not about I'm a Muslim, Nathaniel is Hebrew is Israelite. We have Christians on, we have different people of different faith on, because those are practices that we all have. But we want to get to that spiritual underlying reason for everyone being here. Nathaniel and I may not agree on different rituals, but we do agree on the fundamental reason that God created us all. And somebody may not even believe in a creator. That's okay. If that's what you believe, you're free to believe that. I am a proponent of everyone being free, having the freedom to live and believe. Now, I'm speaking to people that understand they have a creator. And I also know that my creator is created everything out of love. So that's what I base what I do, and why I connect with Nathaniel, because he has a love for humanity. As a leader, as a redemption coach, he knows that wherever someone was yesterday, no matter what horrendous things they may have done, what was in their lives, we all are capable of being redeemed.
Yeah, you
And
gotta know. Yeah, you gotta know, regardless of what offenses that you have done in this world, against yourself, against others, or even against God, right? You gotta know that there's a passage there for you to redeem yourself, you know what I'm saying? To repent, you know what I'm saying? To recreate that human element that you have lost because you have committed this act or you may have committed that act, right? None of us was born here perfect, right? Even though they may speak about Christ and say Christ was perfect, but they forget to tell you that Christ had many years of studies, right? And he even told you himself, when I was a child, I did childish things. What do you
that's
do when
right.
you're a child? You make many errors and you make many mistakes, right? You learn from those errors, you learn from those mistakes, and then allows you to form into the being that you are now or the being that you wish to become. Don't let anyone think that you're supposed to be this carbon copy structure of the life that they actually planning for you. Because people are creating reality for you that they don't even live themselves, right? So you got to be really careful on not locking your life in to that of others. It could be your mother, your father, your sisters, your brothers, your lovers, your husbands, your wives, right? It doesn't even matter because their purpose at the end of the day really has nothing to do with you, right? You can
That's
say, I'm going to create all this wealth for my children, right? I got a friend right now, he's a millionaire. His children don't even talk to him, right?
wow.
They don't reach out to him. I'm not a millionaire. I got a daughter that's 28 years old that reached out to me today, said, Dad, I was thinking about you. How you doing today? I'm not a millionaire, but she's able to come and call me and talk to me. He's a multi-millionaire, and his children don't even talk to him. So at the end of the day, you got to be careful what you actually create in this world and how you choose to redefine your purpose so you can accommodate other people in this world, right? You want to be on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. You want to impress people with the things you have and things of that nature. What happens when you have those things no more? Who do you impress? Will those same
Wow.
people come, you know what I'm saying, to your table to eat with you, the bread of sorrow, right? The same way they came and ate, you know what I'm saying, the bread of mirth. Will they eat also the bread of sorrow with you? right? Will they actually
Mm,
cater to you redeveloping your life? If you actually lose an element in your life, you got to be careful about these
mm.
things and understanding that, yo, man, we are not utopians. Understand
Yes,
this. I don't care how much money you're going to make. That money is not going to save your life. It's not going to, if
yes.
you're a creep, you're going to be creep with money. If you was a broke creep, when you get money, you're going to be a creep still, right? It's not, you're not going to turn around and be
Wait a
like,
minute.
yo, you know, I
That's
got money
right.
now
What is
and
that
become
saying
what
in
you
the
just said.
Bible? What is that saying in the Bible about casting pearls among swine?
That's correct. That's what it says. Do not cast your pearls amongst the swine unless it comes back and rend you to pieces. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
I'm out here in this park. There's something that's messing with me. Go ahead, Gene.
Okay. Now I was looking back on my life, Nathaniel, and I look back on when I thought that it was things that defined me. I was, and I brought some of this into my life today because I was uh, crazy about clothes. This was a phase in my life where I would never go anywhere wearing the same outfit. I would always, whenever, and this is when I was during my period in my life where I was going to parties and having a good time, what I call, quote unquote, a good time. And I would never, ever wear the same outfit. I was always shopping. I was always in the stores shopping because I wanted everything to be coordinated. I wanted my shoes to coordinate with my outfits. I wanted, the fingernail polish that I wore, it had to coordinate with the outfit that I was wearing. I was into things. Things defined me, you know.
You was going to the
Um,
Grammys. You was going to the Grammys.
yeah, well, my Grammys, Nathaniel. But let me tell you what happened to me. I was living in California at the time, and my home was in Louisiana. So I had not been home for about maybe 4 or 5 years, and I was going to go home and impress everybody in my hometown about how many things I had accumulated. I packed up suitcases. I had 5 or 6 suitcases, and this is when you could travel on the airlines and take just about as much luggage as you wanted to without paying extra. And I took all of this luggage with packed up with all kind of things, jewelry, shoes, clothes, and went to visit my hometown. Nathaniel, the airline lost all of my luggage.
Yeah, yeah,
All
because you
of
ain't need it. Because you ain't need it. The only thing you needed, the only thing you needed was what you was actually able to put on. Everything else was a surplus, right? And the Most High
Nathaniel.
told you, yeah,
And listen, I was so miserable. I was there and had no clothes other than the clothes I had on my back and a few things that I had carried on with me on the airplane. And I just about went out of my mind, Nathaniel. I cried, I moaned, I groaned. I just almost went out of my mind because I didn't have these things that defined me. A thought came to me, and this is what brought sanity to me. And this is when I started to let go of things. The thought came to me, you're worried about things that can be replaced. What about your life? What about the person that you are? What about the things that are in your head, in your heart, things that cannot be replaced? But you're going crazy over things.
Now look at this, right? Let's say that you say that you're a righteous person. Let's say you're a holy person, right? And let's say that you say that you don't deal with nothing that's unclean, right? You don't eat no unclean food. You don't talk to unclean people. You want to basically create this utopian for your life. Do
Okay.
you know who made your clothes?
Wow.
Do you know what kind of spirit these people was in that made your clothes? Right? Do you know? I was at a card game one time with me and my cousin. We was at a card game. And the people started eating pork with their hands. Right? And they was picking up the cards and playing cards. And he was like, yo, what y'all do? What y'all doing? Yo, we don't mess with pork, bro. Like, why y'all eating pork with your hands and then funding with the cards? You're passing, you know what I'm saying, to us as well. Right? So you gotta look at this. You saying that you're holy, you saying that you're righteous, right? But you don't even know who making your clothes. You don't know what factory they're making the clothes in. You don't know what conditions they're making the clothes in, right? You don't even know. You don't even know if this is a foul person that's actually making your clothes, right? So we got to be careful with these things that we bring into our lives, you know what I'm saying, that we put on our backs, you know what I'm saying, on our feet, but we don't know what's going on. You
And
say,
the
yo, I love
value
Jordans, but there's this, and the value,
that we put
You
into
love
those
Jordans, but
things.
yeah, because somebody's in a sweatshop right now making a pair of Jordans, right? They're not getting a lunch break, a bathroom break, none of those different breaks. And then you go and you put these Jordans on and you say, I'm the man. You say that your life is more valuable than God that got on Adidas or New Balances and stuff like that, right? So you got to be really careful on how we define ourselves because none of those things mean nothing, right? You don't hear nobody doing a will and says, I'm going to leave my Louis Vuitton jeans to my cousin. And your cousin say, yes, I got the Louis Vuitton jeans. Like, nobody's even concerned with any of that. They don't want your sneakers, your hats, your jackets. Only thing they want is your assets, your property, your money, your jewelry, right? Your cars, right? They don't want any of those things because you wore those things every day, all day, right? You sweat in those things, you party in those things. So they're not concerned with it. So it's the same way when you look at your life, why are you concerned with something that you can actually make yourself, right? And you don't even know who's actually making these things, right? We are living in a bubble of a world where people actually are able to define themselves according to the different substances that they're able to accumulate and bring into their households, right? Because now you gotta.
Yes. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Nathaniel, because this is what we do. We put so much of who we are and define who we are by those things, those name labels. There are some people that will not buy anything unless it is one of these labels, Jordans or
Yeah,
Louis Vuitton. No, they
yeah.
won't. They
But where did these names come from, right? What did God say to you? Yo, this I want you to follow this name right here. I need you to go into the store and get this name. And once you go in the store and get this name and put it on your shoulder, I will be with you. I will carry you all the way. Right? I will make sure that no harm will come to you. Right? So it's understanding that it's understanding the simplicity of a lot of things that connect to our purpose in life. Right? As soon as if you're a poor man, you live a very humble life, a very peaceful life, right? You would do a lot for your neighbor, the stranger on the street. But what happens if you become a rich man, right? Now you got to fight to obtain your riches. You got to make sure that you don't fall back into the barrel, you know what I'm saying, of poverty, right? So you're less inclined to help your neighbor, less inclined to help the man that's in the streets. Why? Because a dollar that you give him could have been a dollar that you invest in the stock market, and that money in the stock market would have actually increased tenfold. So you actually start thinking about this level here because you actually obtain these different riches, right? Where is the humble rich man at? Where is he at? Do you
Oh,
see him?
Nathaniel. See,
Where did he go?
and that's because and I'm not and I believe that Nathaniel is not also saying that it's not good to have a lot of money. But
No.
does that money or whatever you have define who you are? Do you forget where you came from? Do you acquire a lot of money and that money is you have it for money's sake for the things that you can purchase? You know, now I believe and correct me if I'm wrong, Nathaniel, or if you see it another way, that I want lots of money. I want a whole bunch of money, but I want that money so that I can help my fellow man. I want a lot of money so that I can be able to. Really, one of my dreams is to be able to build a house or have a house that will be able to house people that are transitional from being at the bottom and they need some place, a safe place to be until they can do better. They can move out and on their own and do better. But but to have that money just so I can buy more jewelry, more a bigger house or a fancy car, that's not because what you said, Nathaniel, about being simple and living a simple life. That's what I found that gives me happiness. Living a simple life, not always grasping
Yeah,
for this or grasping for that.
yeah. Because even if you got money, you can still live a very simple life. Because you need to understand that it's a blessing. It was given
Yes,
to you in this time, but it could also be taken from you in this time, like Denise said. And as soon as you attach yourself to the money instead of the blessing of the money, you see there's two different elements right here.
yes,
You actually harm yourself for the loss of that money, right? You would basically create a lot of devastating things in your life. Like even like the beginning of COVID, people don't talk about it, but at the beginning of COVID, a lot of people that had money went broke. A lot of people, right? And they committed suicide after suicide after suicide after suicide. And
yes,
then the society covered it up because they don't want you to really see the true element of what money can actually do against you and the one life that you have, right? Because we're going to stand here, we're going to talk about reincarnation, right? We're going to talk about when I die, I want to come back as an eagle and all type of weird things, right? And we don't have a clue about this life one way or the other, right? But we're going to sit here, we're going to fantasize about coming back as an eagle so I can be free and I can fly through the air. Or I want to come back, you know what I mean, as a bear because people don't mess with bears and all type of weird stuff. Not knowing that this might be the only element of life that you actually obtain. You might not get another one of these, right?
that's right.
So we got to really appreciate this life right here that we have and all the blessings that come with it, even if those blessings deem themselves to be a curse, right? I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, he came out of prison. He came and saw me. I was working at a nonprofit already. I think I was been out for like 2 or 3 months. And he said, yo, how did you get, to this position already? I said, well, it's the Most High. The blessing for the Most High. I had nothing to do with it, right? And he said, I'm having a really hard time, man. I'm going to interviews. I'm getting denied. I'm not getting the jobs or whatever. And I looked at him and said, you know what, man? At least you're in a position to be denied. And he said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, yeah, because a couple months ago you was in prison, right? What job interview did you go to when you was in prison? There was no job interview there. And that helped him start realizing what was going on in his life. Like, yo, I'm in a different space. I'm not in prison anymore, right?
Right.
I'm in society, man. I can actually go and get a suit, put a tie on, walk into a building, get denied, right? And then go sit down in a restaurant and have lunch and enjoy myself just like that. I don't gotta, be locked into a cage. I don't gotta worry about a man telling me what I can do and can't do every second, every hour of the day, right? So he's able to redefine his purpose in life, which is actually him, right? We're looking for all these different purposes in life. We're thinking that the things that we achieve is going to make us successful. Look at Paul Walker, right? He's a millionaire. He was a millionaire. He was on TV. He was driving fast cars and doing all type of stuff on the TV set. And how did he lose his life? And a fast car got wrapped around a pole. He died like this, right? His life was the appreciation. It wasn't the fast car. It wasn't how he can go 150 miles an hour, you know what I'm saying, and turn a curve smoothly, right? That curve that he tried to spin, they said his friend was driving, but whoever was driving the car cost him and his friend their life.
Wow. Wow. Nathaniel, you were talking what you were saying about your friend. What you did was give him a perspective of gratitude, being grateful for being able to just go to an interview and be turned down, being grateful for where we are. And that's a lot of times where I know that looking back over my life and the things that God allowed me to go through, that my creator allowed me to go to, I see as a blessing now. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the being going being in hell. I was in hell a good portion of my life. I was in hell, hellish situations, but it was for a reason. I see that now.
Mm.
It was for a reason. If I had not gone through, just like your friend in prison, you in prison, you went through, but that was for a reason. You have a story to tell now, Nathaniel. You have a story of redemption. You have a story to tell someone else that may be going through exactly what you went through, and you went through that situation, but you didn't go through that situation and see it as the end of your life. It was a beginning for you. You learned so much from that you have to give. It helped you to come into your purpose.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, man. Being connected, you know, to the world, that has been given to you, right? Because you could be in any place in the world, but you're in the place where you're at right now. Regardless, where you was born at, you wind up ending up over here, you might end up in this situation. But I believe that if you have true intentions for your life, regardless of how hard it is for you to, get things back on foot, you know what I'm saying? To get things back in order. As long as you have good intentions for your life, things actually start mapping themselves out. You know what I mean? And providing you with the purpose that you actually need in order for you to be at peace, inner peace with yourself, right? Outer peace is like a balloon. Somebody can just come and just pop it just like that. And that's it. Next thing you know, you're fighting, you're screaming, you're trying to, get a person to respect, who you are and respect your space. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was saying that, people are going to respect him. He demands respect, right? And he said, if somebody violates my space and don't give me my respect that I need, I'm going to harm that person. And I said, that sounds beautiful, brother. That sounds beautiful. I said, but now you're on the outside as a free man. Somebody come and violate your space, stand too close to you or something like that, and you take that person's life or you harm that person. Will you have that same notion when you get incarcerated and a correction officer violates your space? Right? Will you have that same notion? Right? No, not now you're thinking differently because you're no longer a free man. And you realize that you're no longer a free man. So now you got to take on a different thinking cap, right? To preserve yourself, because now you're in this space where you can actually seriously be harmed and nobody would know about it. Right? No one. And he still didn't understand what I was trying to tell him. I was saying, be humble. You know what I'm saying? Be grateful and be at peace. You know what I'm saying? With the outside world, even when it's not at peace with you, because you're not here to create the peace of the outside world. You're here to create your own peace. You're not here to make men and women do what you want them to do. You're not here to direct people in a path that you want to direct them in. A lot of times people are not going in the same direction that you're going. You want them to. You may care about them. You may love them, right? But they're not going in your direction. They're in a whole nother different type of direction, right? And you can't get discouraged by that. You can't say, you know what, because they're not going in my direction, because they're not doing the things that I want them to do, that my path is useless. It has no purpose. It has no meaning, right? And let me ask them who it is they think I should become. Who should I be, right? What should I succumb to, right? And a lot of times, if you ask somebody that question, which is a metaphysical question, they don't know the answer to that question, because most people that try to define you can't even define themselves.
Oh, that is so true, Nathaniel. And that is why we should know ourselves. And when you talk about inner peace, as a happiness coach, I talk about that a lot with my clients, because how do you achieve inner peace? And that is, I think, a lot of times why people are going through life so unhappy and so at odds with themselves, because as we talk about, and Denise made reference to this about, and you always going within that inner peace, what's going on inside of us. And that takes knowing ourselves. That takes not being afraid to be alone with yourself. Do you know, at one time, Nathaniel, I did not want to be alone. I wanted to always have people around me. I didn't know how to be alone. I didn't want to be alone with my thoughts. I wanted something going on at all times because I was uncomfortable with who I was. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to face that. I didn't want to face what I saw, because I saw a lot of negativity in me. I saw me, and I didn't like that, and I didn't want to face it. But in order to obtain that inner peace, I had to face it. I had to face all of that was going on in me and really look at the ugliness. Really look at that. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty what I had going on.
That's right, because we will allow people to write our books for our own lives, right? We would take the blank page, give it to someone, and give them the pen and say, "Listen, man, write my life out for me. You know, let me know, you know what I'm saying, where I'm supposed to stand in the world and what I'm supposed to do inside this life. And when we look at this world and we look at the carbon copy of what we would say the millionaire, right? You would see that a lot of their offsprings are not happy, right? I looked at a newscasting with one of the Kennedy's cousins, the little girl. She was 20 years old or something, a beautiful, beautiful girl in the prime of her life. And she was doing hard illicit drugs. And she actually OD, right?
Mm.
And you're like, what? She was a Kennedy, right? She come from a rich legacy, right? They got land and property and money and businesses and stuff like that. But what she's doing, she's in her room using hard illicit drugs that actually snatched her life away from her in her 20s. She'll
Wow.
never know what it is to live in her 30s, to live in her 40s, to live in her 50s, to have joy in her 60s and her 70s. She would never get to that because she lost her purpose and she put it into this thing right here that has snatched many lives away before her. And she knew that. But you know, as beings, we always believe that we're invincible. We never believe that we can fall. We never believe that something can harm us or touch us until it does so. And now we're in a state of perplexities, right? Now we curse life. We say life is no longer our friend. It's not here to comfort us. It's not that shoulder that we actually need to lean on in our times of trouble. But it's all these things. It is our friend. It is our comforter. It is that shoulder that we need to lean on because it brought us here, right? This is what it's here for. If it wasn't going to take care of us, it wasn't going to cultivate us, why would it take the time out to bring us here? If we wasn't going to be
Nathaniel,
protected by a life force, why would a life force bring us over here and we wasn't going to be protected by it? It doesn't make any sense, right? You can get into any doctrine you want to.
yes,
You can talk about any doctrine, any concept, any philosophy, anything you want to talk about, right? But words do not measure up to the essence of life being born. There's not one word that you can find in a dictionary, that you can find in the Bible, the Holy Quran, or anything else that's actually going to determine the element of life and the beauties that that life brings forth. Not one word.
wow. Nathaniel, that is so true. You know, we look so outward. We look outward for what the Creator has given to us. We're talking about purpose. When we look at ourselves, do we see a God? Do we see a God? Not the God, but a God. Do we, when we look at ourselves, and then do we go inward and say, what do gods manifest? How do gods live their life? Not according to, see, I'm not, Nathaniel, you're here for your purpose. I'm here for my purpose. I may look at you and be envious of what you are doing and how you are living, but then I'm getting off of my track. I'm on a track. I'm on a journey. And it does not matter, as you said, what scriptures you're reading, what religion you are. None of that matters if what is in us is not manifesting the God that we are all made to be.
To be, that's right. You know, I go to a restaurant and I order a steak, right? And the person next to me, they order a steak. We both got our steak. I look over and say, his steak look better than mine. Right? You know, right? So, why does his steak look better than my steak? Right? You know, so, you know, we gotta be, like you said earlier, grateful about our path and the purposes that our path is taking us on. Right? You may think that you have found a purpose. No, we're always seeking the purpose of who we are. we're not able to find a purpose. It is not lost goods, right? It is not gold in the earth, right? We're not going fishing and and we can determine when we throw the net into the water that what fish we're gonna bring out, right? We don't know what God's fish. We can't look into the water and say, there go the salmon, there go the tuna, right? We can't look into there. We can have a perception of what may be in that water, right? But we might go in there and pull up goldfish, right? We don't know what's going on down there because we don't live down there. It's not our world. We're intervening into that world, and we're trying to pull things out of that world so it can benefit the life of us, the world that we have created for ourselves. I love fish, right? So I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to take a living being out the water and I'm going to consume it because I love fish, right? But the fish like to swim, right? And it want to enjoy its own life. So we take from life to give our own lives purpose. And we may think that those lives that we take, the fish and everything like that, is mediocre. But learn from the Indians. Before they took the life of any being, they prayed to the Most High and said, please forgive us. But we have to do this to feed our children, to feed our families, to even feed ourselves so we can have strength to continue on the legacies that we're building. Please forgive us that we got to cut down this tree, right? Because the tree brings forth life to us. It gives us shade. It gives us oxygen, right? It's a substance for us in the land. I'm not just going to go chop down a tree just because I could chop down a tree, right? Everything that's around us has its purpose, but it's growing into its purpose. This big tree right here I'm sitting in front of, it was a small seed at one time. It didn't just come up as a big tree, right? It had to grow over time to get to that level where now I can use it as shade. Before, it didn't have no shade because it didn't get to the height yet for branches to come forth, right? It was just dealing with the bark, right? Now that it basically, superseded that and actually achieved that one element, now it's able to grow and blossom into a whole nother structure in life. This is us. This is us in real time. We're growing every single day. It is our process, right? Every day we're going through a process. We're not the process. We're going through a process. We don't own the process, right? The process don't even own us. We are metaphysically connected on both levels. As we seek the process comes to us. What did the Most High says? He says, I sought wisdom and she found me. He didn't say I took wisdom. He said he sought wisdom and then she came and found him.
Yes.
So if wisdom can find the Most High, then wisdom can also find us. And through wisdom, we increase in knowledge and life and humility and gratitude and substance. And we're able to actually see or move according to a purpose, maybe only for a time. We might only have that purpose for 1 year. We got to shift now and do something else for a whole nother purpose, right? When we lock ourselves in, we think that we are authors of the life and we know the life outright. And that's our greatest mistake, of believing that we own something that we can never possess.
And that's why it is a process. And that's why we will be in that process until the day that we pass from this life.
And thereafter.
It is a process. And knowing that, that's flowing with our Creator, flowing with life, flowing, because I don't know why I'm here in front of you today. I don't know who is hearing this today that may need to hear it. I don't know. But I know that I was given an opportunity to be in this process today with Nathaniel. And I
Correct.
know that I'm learning. I know that every day is a learning experience. And every day I'm grateful for that experience. Every
That's
day
correct.
that I have an opportunity to be better than I was yesterday, to be better than I was an hour ago is a blessing. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's not about measurements. You know, it's just about being right. We call one day good, we call another day bad, but the days are the days that have been given to us, right? We don't have the authorship over the days. We can't determine if the sun come out, if it's going to come with wind. You know what I'm saying? We can't determine if the sun come out, it's going to be straight blaze of heat, right? We can't determine that, right? We can only determine that we're here right now in the moment, living out the moment that has been actually prepared for all of us, right? There is no one that has been prepared for this life greater than you. No one. You can't find no entity in the world that has been prepared to be greater than you. I don't care what plateau that they stand on. I don't care how much money they have, what car they have. None of those things are greater than you. It has nothing to do with you, right? This individual got a blessing for that blessing. But would that individual treat it as a blessing? No, no. You got people that do things in the world and complain about the things they're doing in the world. They have no peace about the world that they're in. They have things that you desire to have, and they're not happy with those things. But you say, if I had those things, I'll be happy and content until you actually get those things and determine, you know what I'm saying, that it's not what you thought it was going to be.
Yes. You know, I was thinking the other day, Nathaniel, about security. And sometimes we look for security in things, we look for security in other people. And I was thinking about, where does my security come from? And my security
Mm.
comes from my connection with my creator. My security comes from an unchanging source. And I know that I'm on a path of growth, of learning every day. I know that. And I am thankful for that. And I know that that's where my inner peace comes from. I know that that's where my joy and happiness come from. Something that no one else can take from me, because my security does not come from things or people. You know, my
That's
security
correct.
comes
It
from
doesn't.
my source,
That's correct.
my
Because
source, my source.
you go into these different Texases, and these different Texas tell you that if you do this, you're gonna get this. If you do that, you're gonna get that, right? For all these things that you're actually trying to say that a word, or you follow a certain process, you know what I mean, that was written out for you, is gonna give you the peace that you need within your heart. It's going to give you the peace that you
Yes,
need in your spirit and in your mind, right? And those
yes,
things are only what I would say doorways to a higher passage that you can explore if you give yourself the opportunity to do so. But it is not your doorway. It's just a doorway there that you can use as a passage to find greater flowers, find more bountiful and healthy fish that's in the land, right? The fish that I eat in Brooklyn is not the same fish they eat in Hollywood, right? It's two different type of fish, even though they both may be named salmon, right? The fish that they receive and they eat and the fish I receive are two different fish, right? They, they're not the same, right? You don't see a man that's a multi-millionaire, you know, take the food that he's receiving. You don't see him go food shop in his community, in a rich community, and then send it to you as a gift. We don't even share food in this world. So imagine you sharing, you're taking away your blessings from you and giving it to somebody else. And we don't even share food in this world that's going to enrich the lives and souls of all of us.
So, Nathaniel, our purpose, knowing our purpose, and I am hearing you saying that waking up every day is looking at that day and saying, I have today. What is my purpose today? What do I want to do to um, empower, inspire, elevate someone today, right now, this
That's right.
minute? What is my
That's right.
purpose right now? What is
That's right.
it at this
What is
moment?
what is at this moment? I may go on a train and I might pick the Bible up. I start reading the Bible, and someone say, "Good morning, sir," and I give a screw face. Right? What was the purpose of me picking up the Bible? Right? What am I reading out there in that Bible that's telling me that I have the right to not greet my fellow man? Why? Because he's white, because he's Chinese, or because he's black, because he's Hispanic. What, who am I to determine what was created in this world, what was given to this world? Who am me, right? That I will not benefit from all the benefits that this world has actually granted to me. Because there's going to be one day when I'm not going to be able to greet a man. I'm not going to be able to greet a woman. I'm not going to be able to help a man or help another woman on this plane because my time has expired. And these people that I didn't greet, that I didn't treat well, their lives continue on. They're able to do the things that I used to do, or maybe that I even took for granted, that now I wish that I can still be able to do,
Yeah,
right? It's about
yes,
these simple things that means the world to us, especially, you know, when we are no longer able to grab some. One of the greatest moments in my life, I would say besides me, being born in this world, was to see the passing of my mother. That was a hard reality for me to see that, to come to grasp with that. I still haven't come to grasp with that. She's been gone for over 2 years, and I'm still amazed by the fact that she's no longer here. I'm still baffled by the reality that I can't talk to her. I can't kiss her. I can't send her a couple of dollars when she say, "Yo, I need some money. I'm broke." Right? I'm still baffled. You know what I mean? And by these things, right? Because I'm not the owner of life, and because I'm not the owner of life, I'm baffled that her life is no longer here. Well, her life was a life that actually brought me into the world for me to actually find purpose for my own life.
yes, yes, yes. It is
It's
time.
I see that we went over, but yeah, to my message to the audience, my message, my call to action. It's not about subscribing. It's not about liking. It's not about, commenting on my post. It's about writing your own life on your own heart. You know, getting into the depths, of your spirit. And crafting out that being. You know what I'm saying? That's going to bring you the inner peace that we all need in this world to elevate, what I'm saying, beyond the simplicities that this world has laid out for us, right? We are not
Yes,
connected to these things. These things are connected to us. They try to overwhelm us, overpower us, try to shift into the unknown spaces. And we have the right, the duty, and the power, what I'm saying, to take our lives back and live on a level of peace that we seek for our own lives.
yes, yes. Thank you, Nathaniel, for today's subject. And I thank everyone that is with us within the sound of our voice today. And I pray that something that either I said or Nathaniel said that will elevate us, empower us, and inspire us to just be thankful, be grateful for wherever we are, and to take from that what we need to take from that to really understand what is my purpose right now at this moment, this day, and to fulfill that purpose. That's my uh, wish, prayer for all of us, that we take that and that it is used to grow us and to elevate us to a higher level of understanding.
That's right. That's right.
And with that, do you have anything else to say, Nathaniel? You have said so much today.
Nah, I guess I gotta say for another podcast, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna that's good because
Yeah.
we do have a lot that we can say, and I want to just take us into a peaceful space. Okay. All right. Close your eyes. I don't know, Nathaniel, if you're in a safe spot,
I
but
am.
wherever you are, close your eyes. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Relax. 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 Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Think of all the things that we are grateful for that add to our purpose for being here. When I count backwards from 5, I want us to open our eyes, take a deep breath, and let it out slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath, let it out slowly. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. I want to say we don't own the rights to this music, but it is so calming. Have a great rest of the day. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Peace and blessings. See y'all again next week. Inshallah. The Most High willing.
Inshallah.